A thing that was pointed out by another group that I had the same thoughts on, I think it was Super Carlin Brothers. I watch a lot of their stuff. I think they're my most brought up other review source in this podcast. But they had a thought that I had also had, which was, I don't know why I didn't process the fact that the whole lightning stuff went with the hammer and wasn't just inbuilt with Thor, but I was not expecting it.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it makes total sense if you stop to think for a second, but when it happened, I was like, oh! Whoa!
And a thing that I loved about this movie is that they had so many callbacks that felt natural. Mm-hmm. Like the whole, even down to the music, like the scene with Black Widow and Hawkeye, like the music was that callback to that scene. But there's also the scene with Cap and Mjolnir where him and Thanos are charging and he goes bink and uppercuts him with it, and it's the callback to Thor and Hulk in the carrier, and it's just like the same motions, and it just, none of it felt forced.
Right.
It just was, and it felt so good.
Yes.
It was...
I'm definitely seeing it again.
Oh, yeah.
I already have it pre-ordered, and I'm like, I have a bunch of passes for Studio Movie Grill, and once passes are lifted, which should be like next week,
yeah,
I'm just gonna go see it a bunch of times. Not that I have time in my life to go see a 3-hour and 15-minute movie a bunch of times. I'm a little bit busy.
The thing is, though, it doesn't feel like 3 hours and 15 minutes. Like,
yeah, the only way that I knew it had been 3 hours and 15 minutes was my bladder was like, hey, it's been 3 hours and 15 minutes. My brain was like, nah, man, it's fine. Keep watching.
Both times. The first time, I found out I was going at about 6, 7 o'clock, and the showing was at 10. I made the conscious decision, I'm not drinking anything else from this point on. And I went to the restroom before and went in. The last one, it was a 9 a.m. showing, so I woke up at 8, didn't drink anything, went dehydrated as hell, but I didn't have to go.
I mean, I wasn't suffering. I was just like, I'm aware. I'm aware it's been a long time.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got to do one shout out to Mark over in Tyler, Texas.
Great.
So there's a scene at the end of the funeral where it's going through all the characters that
he noticed the kid.
We all noticed the kid. We were like,
He called out who the kid was.
It's like, who the hell is that kid? It's the kid from Iron Man 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'd grown up so much that I didn't recognize him. And
really nice.
When Mark called it out, I was like, damn, that's him.
That's like, it was so perfect.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, it took me a minute. I had to look it up when I got out of the theater because no one would talk to me. I couldn't figure it out with a friend. They were all sleeping. Stupid jobs and stuff.
Oh, man.
So the internet helped me, and I was like, oh, of course it was. God damn it. Perfect.
I genuinely... So... Listening to Tony Stark's eulogy thing, like
his self-eulogy,
it softened me up. And the moment Happy and Morgan are sitting there
talking about
cheeseburgers, I lost it.
Me too.
I cried.
Well, I was crying half the movie anyway. Like, there are parts where I was like, I can't see the movie, but it's probably really good. And then the second time round, I was crying preemptively. So if someone had been watching my face, I would have just been spoilers. Like the first time they show Stark's house, I was like, tears! There's a baby in that tiny house!
Just, the Love You 3000 thing, just...
Yes.
Like, I'm tearing up a little bit right now.
Yes, we are both visually tearing up now.
It's so good.
The first time... Keep going with
I was just going to say the 5-hour experience, 6-hour experience of Infinity War and Endgame. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm so happy that this is what it culminated to. Because it could have so easily not been this.
Oh yeah, for sure. even in the time heist, this movie was very segmented, which was good. It wasn't, like, harshly segmented, but it had a very clear first, second, third acts.
Right.
You have the, let's kill Thanos immediate following Infinity War act, and you have the time heist act, and then you have the battle act.
Right.
Battle act.
Battle act.
But, like, so I immediately cried when Tony said, I lost the kid. Just, like, tears. Oh, God, here we go. They're not holding any punches.
Right.
And then, like, as soon as... This is probably a less standard tier point. As soon as Steve stumbles into the office in the time heist section and I see the word Carter on the door, I was like, ah! I'm crying right now! Like, literally.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
Tears are running down your face.
They actually are! Why? The laughter is making it worse!
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm fine now.
Good.
But my note there is just, oh fuck, Peggy!
I cannot praise this movie enough.
It's great. And then right after that, Black Widow dies.
Yeah.
So I'm crying there too.
The scene when they all come back and they realize that Black Widow didn't come back. Oh. Oh, and the whole switching of Nebula.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really good.
That put a whole... And then the whole Thanos arc in this. Because it was like immediately, like 5 minutes into the movie, they've killed him.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, they wanted to dispel a lot of fan theories immediately, didn't they? And then when he comes back in, and he gets so far as to actually snap a second time in full conviction. I was like, oh my god, how are we here again? God damn it, guys!
Seriously.
I like that he did the, like, Little John from animated Robin Hood moment and just snuck the jewels right off of them.
That was a beautiful moment in the theater because he snapped and literally everyone in the theater went,
yeah.
And then nothing happened and everyone's like, huh?
Yeah.
And it pans over to Tony Stark as the Infinity Stones are going up and everyone's like,
Yeah, what?
And that was another cheer when he said, I am Iron Man.
Yes.
Everyone's just like, yeah! Oh, can we just talk about the absolutely beautiful demise of Thanos?
Yes.
Just not a word said, and you knew exactly what was going through his mind. Josh Brolin is amazing.
Yeah.
The animation team behind Thanos.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yep.
Just
did a good job.
That resigned sense of, I know I'm right, but I failed. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the look that everyone had at the end of Infinity War. And it was so poetic. It was, I loved it.
It felt... Here's a backwards thing. I haven't been able to talk to many people yet, but I don't know it's a common feeling. It felt really ethically gray to me to do the same thing to Thanos and his armies that he just did to them.
Right.
Didn't it? I mean, I understand it was the only way to end the circle of Thanos coming back, but it just still felt... Ew.
I had that exact same thought until I came to the realization none of those creatures, characters, and villains were of that timeline.
Right.
They were already dead in that timeline.
Yes, but...
And so it was just erasing them from that timeline. However, the timeline they came from got completely messed up by them leaving and then being disintegrated.
Right. And I'm not saying that even that was a bad thing. It just... I think it's good that we should question the acts of mass murder committed by our heroes, even for the greater good. But it did definitely give you that moment of, ooh,
Yeah.
didn't it?
It did.
Because it gave me that moment of, whoa.
But that in itself is good writing. To where
Yes,
it's just like,
totally. I agree.
Yeah.
Like I say, you should be questioning the acts of mass murder, even when all of the murdered are bad.
Right. This movie.
I liked how they incorporated Ant-Man.
Yes.
I didn't even mind the rat.
Turning on the thing.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just pure happenstance.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
pretty
fine
much
with me.
him.
Right.
It's just happenstance.
Yeah. Well, where rat walked by. Time to kickstart the end.
5 years later, let's get this going.
And I liked damn, Paul Rudd, you stepping up your acting with the Cassie scene there.
Oh my God. That was another scene that wrecked me.
Yeah. It was so well acted.
Well, and the way they shot it through the grating of the door, it looked like her mom. And then she got closer and you realized that person's way too young to be. And then he says Cassie and just...
You're like, ah!
So that scene, my brother didn't hit him at all because he missed the last... He hadn't watched Ant-Man.
Oh.
And so he's like, oh, that's weird. And I was like, she was like this. I'm sitting next to him just like...
You're like, you have a daughter, you monster!
It was... I mean, it wasn't quite the level of Interstellar, but it was that level.
Right,
There was that emotion of just like, oh man.
But the baby!
But the baby.
My coworker was asking me last night what, he knew he needed to see Infinity War to see Endgame, but, is there, what else? And I was like, kind of like everything.
Yeah.
And then I kept being like, but I mean, if you see Infinity War, you'll get the main plot points. Oh, also, you might want to have to see, Ant-Man and the Wasp's kind of central to the plot. You're probably going to want to see Captain Marvel. You could probably get away without seeing Captain Marvel, but, it'll give you some background on what to expect. And also, you probably want, it's just just see all of them. You have to see all of them for this movie to make the most impact.
They even make it important to watch Thor 2. Thor Dark World.
Yep.
That is an important plot point in this movie.
I really, really loved the thought that, well, first off, I love that they got Natalie Portman back for that, 4 seconds of screen time. The amount of people they got to come back for just tiny, tiny bits is impressive.
Yeah.
But I really love the thought of her being asleep and then being stabbed by a talking raccoon. And then, minutes later, having Captain America show up and re-stab her. It's just a delightful, were there an end credit scene, I'd want it to be that.
Yeah.
A day in the life moment.
It's this sucks. I also loved that just as Guardians in general call him
Stop, Rabbit!
Stop, Rabbit!
It's fun.
Just that.
And the Thor and his mom scene was really sweet.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I just
They
love
took all the moments that people were like, I wish I had more closure.
Yeah.
And they just knit them nicely together.
Even the scene with Tony and his dad.
Yeah. Oof. That was another heart-wrencher, wasn't it?
Yeah. The lady was like, he had a hippie beard. Are we talking Mungo Joe or definitely Mungo Joe? You aren't a beatnik, are you? This movie is so good.
Yes, it is.
It just is so good.
This page is delightful.
Wait, explain that to me.
It says, on your left is one note, and the next note is, I am literally crying so much right now. And then the next note is just Spider-Man and everyone in all caps.
Oh, the instant kill scene with Spider-Man where it's like, I got this!
Yeah.
I got this! She's just stabbing everything that's trying to dogpile. I was like, I got it! Oh, it's so funny. So
and then
good.
the like little baton race with the gauntlet, which worked.
Yeah.
It could have